Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Mr. Fluent English.
The place where we help you improve your English and your life.
I'm your host, Paul.
Today we're tackling something I think everyone struggles with at some point. Procrastination. Especially when it comes to those really big, important goals, like finally getting serious about learning English.
Oh, absolutely. It's this strange thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know how valuable it is, you want to do it,
Yeah.
but actually starting. That's the hurdle.
Totally. And the benefits are huge, as you pointed out in the research. We're talking easier travel, better job prospects, connecting with people globally.
Right, enjoying movies without subtitles, understanding song lyrics,
Yep.
potentially even earning more money. It genuinely opens up your world.
It's like this massive door, right, full of opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. But that word, massive, that's kind of where the problem starts, isn't it?
How so?
Well, as soon as something feels too big, our brains sort of flag it. High effort, high mental cost,
Yeah.
and bam, procrastination kicks in.
Okay, so that's our mission for this deep dive then. We've got some really interesting research here that digs into why we resist and, crucially, offers a way out.
A kind of antidote, yeah.
We're going to figure out why tomorrow just never seems to arrive for English study and how we can actually start making progress, like today, even small progress.
Tiny steps, huge results. That's the core idea.
Okay, let's unpack this. So the research talks about this cycle. Let's call it tomorrow syndrome. You mean well, right? You think, okay, today I'm going to study.
Best intentions.
But then something happens. You start thinking about it, and almost immediately you hit the brakes. You tell yourself, oh, I'm too tired, or I don't really have a solid hour right now.
So I'll start fresh tomorrow when I have more time. Sound familiar?
Exactly. And then days, maybe weeks, just vanish. The desire's still there, but nothing's actually happened. And you're definitely not alone if that's you.
And what's really fascinating here, I think, is looking at why that happens.
Yeah.
What the psychologists and the sources noted is that what we often label as laziness,
Uh-huh.
it's really more of a rapid reaction
A reaction to what?
to feeling overwhelmed, to the sheer size of the task as we imagine it.
Okay, break that down for English learning. What makes it feel so heavy?
Well, think about it. When you say, I need to study English, your brain doesn't just hear English.
Yeah.
It immediately starts listing all the components, right?
Grammar, vocabulary.
Yep. Grammar rules, memorizing potentially thousands of words.
Mhm.
Then you've got practicing speaking, improving your listening skills, writing correctly, reading fluency.
Whoa. Okay, yeah.
You're mentally stacking up like 6 major skills that all need work.
That sounds exhausting, just listing them.
It is, and that's the key. Your brain registers this massive list and thinks, okay, to do this properly, I need to tackle all 6.
Yeah.
I need like 3 hours, and if I can't do it perfectly or I don't have that huge block of time.
Then there's no point starting at all.
Exactly. Inertia sets in. It becomes much easier to just not start than to face what feels like climbing Mount Everest. The research is really clear. That feeling of overwhelm leads straight to doing nothing.
I see the trap. It feels like if you only do, say, 10 minutes, it's pointless. Like you're just ticking a box but not really achieving anything.
Right. It feels insignificant against the scale of the whole project.
So how do we get past that feeling? What do the sources say about breaking that mental logjam?
Well, they basically say to flip the script entirely. Forget perfection. Forget intensity, even.
Really?
Yeah. The absolute core truth, according to this research, is you don't need 3 hours. You definitely don't need to do all 6 things every single day.
Okay. So what do you need?
Just one small action. Something tiny. Anything that breaks the inertia and starts building a little bit of forward momentum, that's it.
So stop worrying about the mountain and just focus on taking one single step, no matter how small.
Precisely. And this leads us to the main strategy from the research. They call it the power of the small key.
Okay, I like the sound of that.
Think of that huge door of opportunity, fluent English, all the benefits. You don't need a giant battering ram to open it. You just need one small, specific key.
Which is?
The minimum viable action. The smallest possible step you can take consistently.
So consistency is the key, not the size of the action itself.
You got it. The sources really emphasize this. Small actions are powerful because they do 2 crucial things. First, they create actual physical momentum.
Yeah.
You did something.
Okay.
And second, maybe even more importantly, they build psychological proof. Proof to yourself that you can start, that you're capable of taking action.
And that proof chips away at the I'm too lazy or I can't do this feeling.
Exactly. It's the antidote. Because when you commit to something incredibly small, the mental effort required, that cognitive load we talked about, it drops almost to zero.
Your brain can't really argue against it anymore.
Right. There's no justification for putting off something that takes almost no effort.
Okay, let's get specific then. What kind of tiny steps are we talking about? The sources gave some examples,
Yeah,
right?
loads of really practical ones. We're
Yeah.
talking seriously low commitment. Like, commit to just 5 minutes. 5 minutes of focused effort. That's your whole task for the day.
5 minutes. Okay, what else?
Or focus on just one thing. Like, learn one new word today. Just one. Write it down, say it a few times, maybe try it in a simple sentence. Done.
Okay, one word. I can see that being doable. What about listening or writing?
Same principle. Instead of a whole movie, maybe watch one short English video clip on YouTube. 2 or 3 minutes.
Right.
Something you find interesting.
Right.
If writing feels like a massive chore, just write one simple sentence. In a notebook, on your phone, whatever. Maybe about your day, the weather.
Anything.
Just one sentence.
Yeah. Or listening, if you're feeling tired, just put on one song in English, listen actively for maybe 5 minutes. That's it.
What about speaking? That feels like a big one for people.
Still small. Practice one useful phrase, not a complex conversation. Just nail down, how are you, or thank you very much, or could you repeat that, please? Just one.
It's almost deceptively simple.
It is. And that's the point. These micro tasks are designed to be so easy that resistance melts away. You can pick whichever one suits your energy level on any given day. Okay, but here's the pushback I imagine someone listening might have. If I only do one word a day, or only listen for 5 minutes, isn't that still kind of disorganized? Won't I just fall off the wagon? How does this become a real habit?
That's a really important question. Because just knowing the small steps isn't enough. You're right. You need to make it stick. And the research definitely addresses the how.
Okay.
It's all about linking that tiny action to something you already do every single day without fail. It's sometimes called habit stacking or habit anchoring.
Ah, okay. So you piggyback the new tiny habit onto an existing one.
Exactly. Instead of a vague goal like, I'll learn one word sometime today, which is easy to forget or put off.
You make it specific.
Right. You anchor it. For instance, when I make my morning coffee while the water is boiling, I will review yesterday's word and learn today's new word. It takes, what, 90 seconds?
Okay, I see. Or like every time I get in the car and buckle my seatbelt, I'll practice saying my one phrase out loud.
Perfect. By linking it to that automatic, existing trigger making coffee, buckling up, you take the decision-making out of it.
It bypasses the need for willpower at that moment.
Totally. It moves from, should I study now,
Yeah.
which opens the door to procrastination, to, oh, coffee's brewing, time for my word. It becomes automatic, part of the routine.
That shift from decision to ritual, that feels really key. It kind of weaponizes your existing inertia, doesn't it? Turns it into positive momentum.
That's a great way to put it. And the sources confirm, as you consistently prove to yourself day after day, that you can complete this tiny task.
Even if it's just 60 seconds.
Right. That feeling of, I'm lazy, or I can't stick with things, starts to shrink. And in its place, motivation and confidence actually grow. You start to feel, hey, I am doing this. You realize you're stronger than those old excuses.
Okay, so the small steps, anchored to a habit, build momentum and confidence, but let's not forget the why. We need to talk about the cost of not doing this.
Absolutely. While the steps are small, the stakes are pretty high. Every day you put it off, every day you say, I'll start tomorrow.
That dream of being comfortable in English, it actually gets further away, doesn't it?
It does. Time is slipping by. And we need to remember what English represents. It's not just a school subject. It's that fundamental opportunity the sources highlight.
Better work, study options, more money.
Deeper connections with people, understanding different cultures. If we connect it back to that bigger picture, delaying your study is literally delaying your own potential, your own empowerment.
And there's an internal cost too, right? The
Yeah.
sources mention that feeling of guilt.
Oh, definitely. That nagging feeling when you know you want to do it, you could be doing it, but you aren't. It creates this constant low-level stress or disappointment.
Whereas taking action, even tiny action, immediately relieves that pressure.
Instantly. You feel better the moment you take that small step. It doesn't just move the goal closer, it reduces that internal friction.
So how do we really harness that? Make that future potential feel more real than the immediate urge to procrastinate? The sources had a visualization exercise, didn't they?
Yes, a really powerful one. It's designed to pit your future self against your current inertia.
Okay, so if you're listening, maybe take a moment for this. Try and picture yourself Not years from now, but just maybe 6 months down the line.
6 months of doing this small, consistent daily action.
Mm.
Imagine you're in a situation where you need English, maybe talking to someone, watching something.
And picture yourself actually doing it better, understanding more, speaking more confidently, feeling present, not stressed.
Really try to tap into that feeling, that
Yeah.
sense of accomplishment, of pride. Imagine thinking, wow, yes, I actually did it.
That future's possible, right? But it absolutely depends on starting.
It's totally contingent on starting now.
Yeah.
Not next week when things calm down, not on Monday for a fresh start, but literally right now.
The research was pretty blunt about this, wasn't it? The best time is always today.
Always today. And the best moment is this moment. They actually challenge you, stop listening for 30 seconds and do one tiny thing right now.
Say one English word out loud. Grab a piece of paper and write one simple sentence. Anything.
Because waiting achieves nothing. It just keeps the inertia going. Action, no matter how small, changes everything. It breaks the spell.
You are bigger than the procrastination. You really are. And now you have a clear roadmap. Tiny steps, anchored to habits, day by day.
It's such a powerful shift in thinking. It's not about forcing yourself through sheer willpower against this giant laziness monster.
It's about understanding. It's often a strategic failure. Your brain's overwhelmed.
And the solution isn't more effort, it's less. Minimal action, maximum consistency, tied to something you already do.
That consistency, it's like the quiet engine driving you forward, isn't it? Much more effective than these big, stressful bursts of effort that you just can't maintain.
Absolutely. Slow and steady really does win the race here.
So as we wrap up, and you're thinking about how to apply this, let's leave you with a final thought to chew on.
Okay.
If we accept that just one word or one 5-minute listen anchored to your daily coffee or commute can genuinely start to reshape your future, then what is the absolute smallest, most effortless English action you can commit to doing every single day for the next week?
Make it almost laughably small, something you absolutely cannot fail at.
And then, crucially, how are you going to notice that you did it? How will you track that micro success just for yourself to prove the momentum is building and turn that first spark into a real lasting habit?
Because that momentum starts the second you take that first tiny step, maybe even right now.